Welcome to a doubleheader of Maple Leaf soccer here at John Ingold Complex on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics. Looks like a wonderful day for women's Maple Leaf soccer versus Indiana University East Red Wolves. I'm Zach Begley with Tanner Camp to my right here in the press box to call your game this afternoon. Goshen College is coming in with a 2-1-1 record, and they're coached by Scott Gloden, who's in his third year. The Red Wolves are coming in at a 1-2 record on the season, are headed by Shane Meredith in his first year of coaching. The Maple Leafs are coming off a game in which they beat Calumet College of St. Joseph in a 3-0 game, where they scored 3 first-half goals. The Maple Leafs have also won 2 of their last games and are a goal differential of +7 over those last 2 games. Indiana University East is also coming off of a 3-0 win in which they scored 3 second-half goals, 2 from Dahana O'Brien. That was the Red Wolves' first win of the season. We'll take a quick break here and be back with Tanner's keys to the games on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics. Welcome back. If you just tuned in, we're here at John Ingold Athletic Complex broadcasting women's Maple Leaf soccer as they take on Indiana University East. I'm Zach Begley with Tanner Camp. So Tanner, what do you think are the keys for both teams to win?
Well, there's definitely a lot of keys. First off, starting off for the IU East Red Wolves. I mean, they're coming off a fairly young team and a brand new coach. So for this one, they're just going to have to remember the idea that they're still young and they're just going to have to come out with a lot of energy. And for Goshen, the idea that they're starting off 2-1-1, having a great season so far. A lot of young players, but also some key returners, including one of my personal favorites. We've got Talia Broom, number 24, the sophomore. She's been dominating so far for the Maple Leafs. And one big key that IU East is going to have some trouble with is going to be Goshen College's goalkeeper in Katie Bear. She's been fantastic so far, one of the top keepers in the Crossroads League. She's going to be the difference maker for whether or not Goshen wins this game, and I expect it to be a really good day, a really good game. It's a beautiful day out, and I expect this to be the great start for the first game of this doubleheader.
Okay. Thank you. We are going to take another quick break here and be back with the starting lineups on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics. Welcome back to John Ingold Athletic Complex on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics. Again, I am Zach Begley here with Tanner Camp. We're going to do the starting lineups, and then we're going to get into the game. So for the Indiana University East Red Wolves, starting is number 0, Amanda Nicholson. Number 5, Ellie Gunther. Number 8, Dahana O'Brien. Number 9, Brianna Diensenou. Number 10, Priscilla Caraval. Number 11, Kirby Barger. Number 16, Brooke Conway. Number 17, Kylie Denson. Number 18, Lauren Scott. Number 22, Ariel Miller. And number 28, Anya Trulia.
And on the other side for your Goshen College Maple Leafs, we've got number 4 in Carolina Viblios Palacios. Number 5, Mara Beck. Number 14, Lena Charles. Number 6, Alyssa Arella. Number 7 in Catherine Lorea. Number 9, Brendan Tellez. 13, Caitlin Huey. 15, Allison Ebersole. Number 17, London Fiesel. 50 in Katie Bear. 24 in Talia Broom. And 26, McKenna Zimmerman. Wrapping up, that's your lineup for your Goshen College Maple Leafs. The kickoff has just started.
All right. The ball is rolling into the Red Wolves' back territory. On the near side, the Red Wolves' IUE is going from right to left on your radio dial, while Goshen College is going left to right on your radio dial. And the ball is pushing forward into it's about midfield on the far side away from the press box. IUE has the ball right now. It just went to Jordan Prim. It's a cross over to Barger. Now she's pushing into the Goshen territory around midfield. It's now passing. And Katie Bear with a save with her legs in the 18-yard box.
And this right there, Zach, is a big reason why she's going to be one of the top keepers in the Crossroads League with plays like that. I don't know if she intended to do that, but it was still really cool if those who can see it on the screen or can notice that.
Now the ball is sort of bouncing around midfield. No one has really picked it up yet, and now it's picked up by IUE, and they lose it. Zimmerman now has the ball on the near side Goshen territory, kicks it about to midfield. It is now picked up by Miller. Miller passes it over to Prim, who then passes it to Denson. Now all the way on the far side of the midfield, it is Conway. Conway's now into Goshen territory on the near side. And now there's a break at the goal, and it's going to roll off just left of the goal, and it's going to be a goal kick for Goshen.
And Zach, another key that I also say, with most sports in general, though, it's the energy. So it's that idea that both teams have a different plan, and if the other team scores or the other team makes a great play, you cannot let that affect your game plan, because it is different for every different team. IU East, coming off a fairly young team, whereas Goshen's kind of the same way, but a few more experienced players. So that's the key for both, whoever can stick with their plan and have the most energy by the end of the game.
Well, both teams are obviously also coming in with a lot of momentum, because they're both just coming off wins.
Exactly.
In fact, both 3-0 wins. So I think if you're really looking to see, as Goshen is going to have a free kicking, goalkeeper Katie Bear is going to come all the way out from the goal to midfield for the free kick.
Freshman herself, making a big name for herself already, and she sticks with this program. She's going to be doing a lot of great things. That's my prediction for the future for Katie Bear, the freshman keeper.
The ball is up. It's rolling into just outside the 18-yard box. It's going to be headed away. Then it's going to be headed back in. Now it's being kicked around. Zimmerman for Goshen now has the ball. Kicks it back the other way. It's going to be kicked out by, looks to be Denson. And now it's rolling on the far side in Goshen territory. Now the ball is out. Now it's picked up by Denson. Denson's now kicks it in, and it's going to be cleared by Palacios. And it's going to bounce around, and it's going to be picked up by Prim, who then kicks it back to Conway. Conway kicks it over to Carval. And it's going to be kicked back. It's going to be kicked in, and it's now Denson has the ball, kicks it into the far side, and it's going to be picked up by Bear just halfway into the 18-yard box. And then she's going to throw it out to Huey. Huey now has the ball about midfield near the press box, pushing it into Red Wolves territory, kicks it ahead to Borum. Borum now has it in Red Wolves territory on the near side, passes it to Huey, and then Huey's going to try to kick it back, and now IUE has the ball, pushing, looks to be Prim, and now there's a tussle for it. Zimmerman on a race with Diensu, And Diansu kicks it, and then it's going to be picked up by, looks to be Araya, who's then going to clear it out. Now, Charles has it on the far side, kicks it about to midfield. It's rolling away. It's going to be hit by Miller. Miller is in a tussle with Borum. Borum now has the ball at midfield and loses it. It's going to be picked up by Tellez, who tried to pass it to Ebersol, and it just rolled just a little too far. And now Barger has the ball all the way in the near side of Red Wolves territory. It's now going to be kicked out. Tellez is just going to knock it out of bounds. It's going to be an IUE throw-in.
A lot of pressure right there by Goshen upon the defenders, trying to keep the ball in the territory, but there's just a little gap, and IU East was able to read that.
Miller now has the ball in IUE territory. He's going to kick it over to, and it's going to be, it's going to be taken by Goshen. Now Fiesel has it, pushing. She's in mid of Goshen territory. She kicks it. It's in the 18-yard box, and Borum's just going to lose it. It's going to be picked up by Denson, who's then going to lose it, and it's going to be picked up by Charles, and it's going to roll. It's going to roll out of bounds for a goal kick. Looks like Nicholson is going to have the goal kick, the goalkeeper for IUE.
Great opportunity right there for Goshen, though. They had set up something really great, just unable to get to the actual ball inside the 18, and I'm sure they took a shot, a great chance right there for the first goal of the game for the game.
Now Caitlin Huey has it for Goshen in IUE territory. Oh, she gets hit by Evans, and then Barger picks it up, crosses it all the way over to the far side of the territory. Scott now has it for the Red Wolves in IUE territory. Now it's taken, and now it looks like it's bouncing around a little bit. Borum is there. She's in the 18-yard box, pushing. She's looking for a goal, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be looks to be a corner kick for Goshen, as Nicholson, the goalie Nicholson, came away from goal and knocked it out of bounds on a slide tackle. Seems both goalies are slide tackling today.
And one big thing that you need to notice, though, is that of the many freshmen that IU East does have, although the few juniors, that their goalkeeper and Nicholson is one of them. So that's a big key for IU East to kind of use that advantage that she's probably played in a few matches for this game.
Fiesel's going to kick the goal kick. It's going to come in slightly low. It's going to be cleared out, and it's going to go right to Laura. Laura now has it in IU East territory, just inside of midfield. Zimmerman, who had a goal last game, is going to kick it. And it's going to be picked up by Huey all the way on the far side away from the press box. Huey's going to kick to Fiesel, who's going to lose her footing. Then Huey gets it back. She's pushing. She's trying to get middle. She crosses it over to Charles. Charles tries to make a nice lifty pass to Borum, and it's just going to roll out of bounds for a goal kick.
And that corner kick, by the way, was the first of the game, and not a bad chance right there. Just not enough loft in the air in order to make some big play out of that, but great attempt right there by the Maple Leafs.
Nicholson's going to kick the goal kick, sort of waiting for the players to set up. And it's going to go up, and Borum's going to head it back the other way, but it's going to be picked up by, it looks to be, oh, no, now it's sort of bouncing around. Now it's going to be picked up by Miller on the near side in IU East territory, trying to push it ahead. She's going to kick it ahead to Barger. Barger's going to pass it back to Miller. Miller's going to cross it over to Prim. Prim's now at midfield, pushing ahead. Going to pass it cross field, and it's going to be picked up by Caravallo. Caravallo is now dribbling on the far side of Goshen territory. He's going to pass it. It's still rolling now, and it's going to be cleared out by Palicios, and then it's going to be kicked super high and bounces almost into the baseball field by Denson. But it looks like there's a foul on the play. So there's going to be a free kick for IU East.
And it'll be interesting to see where they place the ball at as they called that foul. And it looks like it's going to be just a little outside the 18. So big opportunity right here for the Red Wolves. We'll see how Goshen responds with this. And looks like they're communicating right now for how they want to set things up.
The whistle's just been blown. It's going to be kicked, and it's going to be knocked away by the player wall, and it's rolling all the way back to midfield. It's going to be picked up by Carval. She's going to pass it over to Evans. Evans is now going to pass it over to Miller. Miller's now attacking on the near side of Goshen territory. And she's going to pass it over to, it's going to be kicked to, and then Zimmerman's going to hit it, and it's going to bounce off an IU East player and just roll out of bounds. It'll be a Goshen College throw-in. Huey's going to throw it in. Huey throws it into Ebersol. Ebersol makes a beautiful pass to Tellez. Tellez is now pushing. Pass it over to Borum. Borum's now at about midfield. She's going to pass it over to Fiesel. Fiesel's going to pass it over to Charles. Oh, no, it's going to be taken by Carvalho for IU East. It's going to roll all the way then. Palacios is going to try to take it. Now it's O'Brien and the goalkeeper, and it's going to be a goal for IU East. Just out of the outstretched hands of Bear. O'Brien from about 2 yards outside of the 18-yard box. It was just her and the goal, and she puts it down in the left corner pocket, and it's going to be a goal for IU East, which is the first goal Goshen's given up in about 2 games, and only about the 3rd goal this year.
And right there, though, that was just a great play right there by O'Brien, one of the many freshmen on this roster, but obviously a big goal right there. And now a big key for Goshen, though, is that they do not need to worry yet. It's only 1 goal at this point. They just need to be in attacking mode at this point and trying to score and try to even things up here.
It's going to be a throw-in for Goshen College. Huey's going to throw it in. Huey throws it into Zimmerman. Zimmerman's going to kick it all the way into IU East territory. It's going to be headed back, then picked up by Laura, who's going to pass it to Fiesel. Fiesel then trips, but she still has the ball. She's now pushing. She's in the middle of IU East territory.
Goal scored by
Now it's going to be bounced, and now it's going to be picked up by Scott. Scott's now pushing it ahead. She's going to pass it to O'Brien. O'Brien's now looking to pass it over to Denson. Denson's going to cross it all the way across, and then it's going to be picked up by Charles. Charles now has the ball at about midfield, crosses it into IU East territory. It's going to be cleared out by Evans all the way into Goshen College territory. It's going to be cleared by Palacios. Is going to kick it very high in the air. It's going to bounce around for a little bit. Now Huey has it in IU East territory on the near side. There's going to be a bit of a tussle, and now there's going to be a call against, looks to be Barger for IU East.
And that is the right call there, though. I mean, a lot of contact right there, and you can do that a little bit, but there were some obvious movements. I think there was an arm around and gave her a little bit of an elbow that resulted in the foul right there.
Palacios is going to kick it, the free kick. The ball is up. It's very low. It's going to roll right to Barger, who committed the foul for IU East. And she saves it right to Huey from going out of bounds. And then it's going to be kicked over to Denson, who then kicks it to O'Brien, who tries to pass it back to Denson. Now it's kicked ahead. It's taken by, it's sort of rolling. Now Laura takes it for Goshen. Oh, she loses it again. It's kicked to Diensu, who then passed it to O'Brien, and then Palacios, and then O'Brien tried to pass it back to Diensu, and then Palacios knocked it away, but then Scott kicks it ahead, and now Scott has the ball at about midfield, crosses it over to Prim. Passes it over to Barger. Barger now has it. Barger passes it to Miller, now in the near side of the Goshen College territory. Now they're gonna, it looks like they called a handball on, looks like a handball on Huey. That'll be a free kick for, oh no. Yes, it's a free kick for IU East.
And a little bit of question right there. A little bit of question that right there, but
right. And Miller's just going to kick it out of bounds. It'll be Goshen College goal kick. It looked like they were trying to communicate, and someone didn't exactly know what was going on. But they got the free kick off, and it didn't really. It was sort of a little bit of a wasted opportunity for IU East.
And right there, though, again, going back to what I said earlier about the goal width, while we have a little less than 32 minutes left here in the first half, that's still a lot of time left. That's still a lot of time left to try to get an opportunity. So they don't need to. Goshen doesn't need to rush for anything at this point, and almost try to maybe wear IU East down, so that in the second half they might have an upper hand, as that's what they look what they're trying to do, because now they have to play comeback ball and get at least just one just to score, and we got a good opportunity right here.
As Fiesel's pushing it into IU East territory, no one's around her. She's right in the middle. She makes a pass to Huey, and It rolls a little bit, but Huey's going to get it on the near side around the corner kick, and then she's going to kick it, and it's going to be picked up by Nicholson just about 3 feet away from the goal, but not on target.
The ball over to Huey was just a little outside. If it has just a little less power right there, I bet that's a really good opportunity, but just a little wide for Huey.
As Huey has the ball again, passes it to Ebersol. Ebersol is now attacking on the near side, right around the corner kick area. She steals the ball. She's pushing middle. She's going to pass it to Borum. There's a bit of a tussle. Borum gets it, kicks it all the way back to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's going to kick it back in, and it's going to be cleared by IU East. Now, Dean Snu is pushing on the near side of Goshen territory. She's going to pass to O'Brien. O'Brien's going to fight with Palacios, and Palacios is going to knock it out of bounds. It'll be an IU East throw-in.
Correction, it looks like it'll be
Goshen College throw-in.
It looks like when Zimmerman was going for the slide tackle, it hit off her, but then it also hit off O'Brien before going out of bounds, so it will be the Maple Leafs ball.
Zimmerman's going to throw it in to Tellez. Tellez is now battling with Barger. Tellez now she's battling with O'Brien. O'Brien takes it, and then O'Brien looks like be tripped up, but they're not going to call it. Zimmerman's going to have the ball. She passes it to Borum. Borum's now playing it around midfield. She's looking to try to make something happen. She's going to cross over to Charles, who tries to pass it to Laura, and it was just a little too hard, and it's going to roll to O'Brien for IU East. Now there's a battle for it. Zimmerman's trying to clear it out. Palacios gets it, and then she's going to kick it back to Bear, who's going to clear it out. Rolled all the way into IU East territory. Evans now has the ball. Ebersol now takes it. She's on a fast break with the goal. Only the goalie beat. Borum takes it from Ebersol. She makes a nifty move, tries to put it in. It's going to be knocked out of bounds by Evans right in front of the goal. That was a big opportunity that was just barely missed by Goshen.
And as you said, a great opportunity right there for Goshen. Very unfortunate that they could not convert, but they knew at the very least they were going to get the corner kick right there.
Yeah.
So this is where they want to try to make something happen still with about 29 minutes left here in the first half of the first game of this doubleheader today.
1-0 Indiana University East, as it looks like Fiesel's going to kick the corner. It's up. It's also low again, and it's going to be kicked out. It's going to be taken by Denson for IU East. She's pushing ahead. It's going to be then taken by Laura. Oh, Denson takes it back, and it's going to roll out of bounds for a Goshen College throw-in. Huey's going to throw it in. Oh, no, Zimmerman's going to throw it in. Zimmerman's going to throw it in, and it's going to be bounced off of Barger's head, and Zimmerman's going to throw it in once again.
Maple Leafs slowly working their way down the field to try to keep it down on their side of the field. And
Borum's going to take it and kick it out of bounds, and then it looks like Miller's going to throw it in. Miller throws it into Barger, and then it's going to be taken by Zimmerman for Goshen. Borum now has it for Goshen. Borum's battling a little bit with Barger. Borum now has it. She's trying to work her way middle. They're in IU East territory around midfield. She's looking. She's going to pass it to Fiesel. Fiesel's going to pass it to Charles on the far side. Charles tried to pass it back to Borum, but it's going to bounce off an IU East player and go back to Fiesel. Fiesel then passes it to Tellez. Fiesel now has it, makes a nifty move on Carval for IU East. Going to throw it in. Zimmerman and the goalie's going to make a diving save right in front of the goal. Zimmerman just missed an opportunity to put that ball in the net.
Very unfortunate right there. The ball just got out of control, and she was not able to get a good placement with her foot. It was just going back and forth,
Right.
And very unfortunate. Probably at this point the biggest opportunity for the Maple Leafs to try to tie this game up.
Evans is going to pass it to Barger for IU East. They're trying to work it in. Zimmerman's going to knock it away. Now she has it. She's going to pass it back to Huey. Huey's looking to make a play. She's going to cross it middle over to Fiesel. Fiesel now has that midfield. Passes it back to Araya. Araya's going to kick it all the way into Borum. Borum now loses it. It's going to be cleared out by IU East, and then it's going to be picked up by Fiesel. Fiesel now has it, kicks it into the 18-yard box, and it's just going to roll out for a goal kick. Just, again, I think Goshen's putting on good pressure, but it hasn't capitalized yet.
Yep, Zach, looks like we have 2 substitutions right here. Coming into the game for the Red Wolves will be number 14, Rianne Woodard, and number 66, Emily Myers. Both freshmen, by the way.
Another one of the very young teams. Zimmerman for Goshen now has it on the near side of IU East territory. It's going to be kicked and then rolled to Evans of IU East. It's going to be picked up by Woodard, who just checked in. Now it's by Miller. Miller passes it ahead to Diensu, who then passes it to Myers, who also just checked in, who then passes it over to Denson, giving back to Myers. Myers is now attacking. She's working it with Zimmerman. There's a bit of a battle for the ball. And then there's a foul on Zimmerman.
And a very obvious call right there, and you could tell the IU East fans definitely really wanted that one. And to be honest, that's one that you were not going to be able to get away with. That's a very obvious call right there from Zimmerman.
And it's now all the way on the far side of Goshen territory. Caraval has it. She's pushing. She is now now Scott has it. Scott's battling. Scott still has it. She's going to make a nifty pass to Caraval, and Caraval just gets it past Araya, and it's going to roll out for a goal kick for Goshen College.
That one just rolled out of bounds. So very big play right there, though. And again, for IU East, their situation is to try to build upon the lead, to try to extend it. Whereas for Goshen, they're still trying to play comeback. Two great opportunities so far, and they're hoping to keep that momentum up while it's still here.
Miller now has the ball for Goshen. She's for IU East. She's in Goshen territory. It's passed to Yensu, and that's knocked. Who tried to pass to O'Brien, knocked away by Palacios. Now the ball is rolling, and Miller's going to pass it ahead to Diensu. Diensu's looking to pass it. She's going to pass it ahead to Denson, and it's going to roll harmlessly away to Borum, who passes it to Zimmerman, who tries to go to Borum. It's going to go through Miller's legs, and then it's going to be cleared out by Evans. Now O'Brien has the ball at midfield, going to pass it all the way back to Scott. Scott's looking to attack. She's dancing a little bit with Fiesel. Now it's a bit of a, Fiesel's going to put some pressure on the ball, and then she's going to kick it all the way back to Conway, who's then going to kick it all the way ahead. Diensu and Palacios are in a battle for the ball. Looks like Palacios sort of wins, but it's given to O'Brien, who then passes it back to Diensu, who tries to pass it back to O'Brien. But then it's going to be a battle between Aurea and Diensu now for the ball. Diensu wins, passes it over to Scott. Scott's looking to attack. She's going to cross it all the way to Miller. Now they're on the near side of Goshen territory. Miller's going to pass it ahead, and it's going to roll, and Palacios is going to clear the ball out. Now the ball is bouncing. Borum is in a battle with Evans, and it's going to bounce out of bounds and be a... It's going to be a Goshen College throw-in. Zimmerman now has the ball. She's going to throw it into Ebersol. It's going to bounce around. Ebersol falls, but then Zimmerman's going to kick it way ahead. Miller's going to pick it up for IU East. She's going to cross it over to Conway. Conway's going to kick it ahead to Denson. Denson's now attacking. Laura puts some pressure, but it's not going to... But Denson still gets by her. Now it's a race for the ball between Charles and Carval. Carval's going to pick it up. She's looking to attack. She tries to make a pass, but Charles with a great steal. She's now pushing it up. She's at about midfield. She's still going. She's going to kick it ahead, and it's going to be cleared out by... Evans is going to pick it up for IU East. Now she's attacking just inside Goshen territory on the far side. She's going to kick it over to Scott. Scott's going to kick it over to O'Brien. O'Brien's now attacking. O'Brien's just sort of waiting. She's going to pass it. It's going to roll to Tellez for Goshen. Tellez is going to give it to Laura, who then gives it to Araya, who then is going to give it to Palacios, and then who's going to kick it all the way over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman now has it on the near side of Goshen territory. He's going to give it to Huey. Huey's going to put it between Meyer's legs, and now Zimmerman's on the attack on the near side of IU East territory. No one's around her, really. Now there's a couple IU East defenders. She's going to pass it to Borum. Borum's now going to mid-cross. It's going to be knocked out. Ebersol's going to try to make a shot, and it's just going to roll away, and it'll be a Goshen College, not Goshen College, an IU East goal kick.
That's a great attempt right there, and although the shot was a little wide right there, that's still a great attempt there right there, because at the very least, if their angle is correct, that could have been the goal and the big goal that Goshen needs right now to tie this game up.
Yeah, Goshen already does have one tie on the year, and I don't think they're looking for a second one. I think they're looking for 2 goals in this game, at least. Now the ball is rolling out, and it's going to be an IU East throw-in, and it looks like Miller's going to throw the ball in for IU East. Miller throws it into, oh, there's someone new has checked in. It is Scott, Lawrence Scott, and it's going to roll out of bounds aimlessly for a Goshen College throw-in. Zimmerman's going to throw it in. It bounced just over Meyer's head as Meyer only had Huey in front of her. Zimmerman's going to throw it in to Tellez, who's going to pass to Ebersol, and it's just going to miss Ebersol by a smidge, and Scott's going to throw it in for IU East. Scott's going to pass it to Woodyard. Woodyard passes it back to Scott. Ebersol's going to steal it from Miller, and it's going to roll out of bounds for a Goshen College throw-in. Again, McKenna Zimmerman's going to throw it in once again. She's going to throw it into Ebersol. Ebersol's going to make a move, pass it to Fiesel. Fiesel now has it in the mid. She's looking to pass. She's going to pass it back to Ebersol. Ebersol now has a break at the middle. No one, and she's going to take a shot, and it's going to bounce at the crossbar, and Bohr's going to put in a goal.
And what
Goshen College ties it up.
Big goal right there, obviously tying this game up. What a great job by Ebersol right there. It hits the top of the crossbar, and the goalie already being down, trying to make the save. All Talia had to do right there was just kind of tap that one in, and that's what she did. And with that right now, all tied up at 1-1.
It's now 1-1 with about 20 minutes left in the first half. It is 1-1. Now IU East is on the attack. It's going to be knocked back by Rhea. It's going to be picked up by Scott. Scott now passes it to O'Brien. O'Brien's now on the attack. It's going to be knocked away by Rhea, but to Denson for IU East. Palacios is going to head the pass by Denson, and then O'Brien's going to pick it up. Palacios, and now it's a race, and Scott's going to shoot it, and Bear came out to knock the ball away, and no one was in the goal, and Scott just put it in for an easy score.
And tough position right there, as what Bear was probably trying to do there was cut off her angle, and that was the one spot that she allowed. That was like hopefully that it rolls out or hits the bar and potentially comes back, but that's the one spot that Bear ended up giving for them, and as a result, IUE scores, and now they're back up 2-1.
There's been two players to check in for Goshen, as it looks like Shaw and Larson have checked in for Goshen. And the kickoff by Goshen rolls
goal number 19, Lauren Scott.
Roll out of bounds. And now Miller has the ball on the IU East side, and it's going to be knocked out. Miller's now going to throw it in. And Zimmerman's going to try to steal it. It's going to be picked up by Scott. Now it's going to be rolling by Denson. Denson's now in a battle with, looks to be Tellez. She's in a battle with Tellez. It's going to be passed to Myers. She's then going to give it back to Denson. She's still in a battle with Tellez. Tellez is still battling. Tellez now gets the steal. She's now pushing down. The bench for Goshen College is very hyped right now. And it's going to be knocked away by Evans. But then Tellez is going to pick it up. Tellez is now pushing. She's looking to attack. She's on the near side of IU's territory. Myers is going to race ahead. And then knock it out of bounds away from Tellez. But it's going to be a Goshen College throw-in. Zimmerman is now looking. She's going to throw it into, looks to be Larson, who's going to pass it to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's going to try to give it into Ebersol. Ebersol, it's going to be knocked away by Conway, and it's going to be it's going to be knocked away by Larson, and it's going to be a IU East goal kick for Nicholson.
Great attempt right there, though. Good setup, just probably not in the right spot for the Maple Leafs. But if you can keep doing that right there a few more times, at one point it's probably going to result in a goal at some point in this contest.
Zimmerman now has it's going to lose it after the ball rolls right to her. It's going to be a throw-in for IU East. Miller throws it into Scott. Scott's now battling with Zimmerman. Zimmerman's grabbing her. The IU East faithful are calling a holding call. Scott passes it to Myers on a nifty pass. Myers makes a slight nifty move against Huey. Huey's now going to knock the ball away. And she's going to it bounces off Larson's back foot, and it's going to roll out of bounds. What an opportunity missed. Scott's going to throw it in. Now it's taken by Tellez. Tellez is now on the attack on the near side. She's forcing middle. She's going to cross it all the way back to Shaw. Shaw is now in a battle with Woodard. Woodard wins the battle, gives it to, looks to be Denson. Denson passes it back to Woodyard. Woodyard gives it to Evans. Evans passes it to Myers. Myers is in a battle with Zimmerman. Myers passes it back to Miller. Miller's now looking. She crosses it all the way ahead to O'Brien. O'Brien is now pushing in the middle of Goshen College territory. She passes it to Woodyard. Woodyard loses it and then rolls to Palacios. Now it's a foot race between Larson and Conway. Larson wins the foot race. She's now pushing Mino. Kanye takes the ball back from her. Passes it over to Scott. Scott's now pushing on the far side. Now she's racing into Goshen College territory. Larson with the pressure. Then Charles kicks it away, and it's going to roll right to Conway, who then gets it to Scott, who then gives it to Woodard. Woodard then passes it back to Conway. She tries to cross it. Borm's going to knock it away, but still going to get across to Miller. Miller passes it to Denson. Denson's going to kick it way out of bounds, trying to get it over to Myers. It's going to be a Goshen College throw-in with about 16 minutes left to here in the first half. 2-1 Goshen College. And it's going to roll aimlessly out of bounds. And it is going to be a IU East throw-in. It is now Miller, and then bounces off Scott for IU East. Oh, wait. Oh, Mara Beck is now checking in for Lena Charles.
Right now, so far, these last few minutes, Zach, that I've especially noticed, it's been very physical so far. And to be honest, I'm not even just talking about on the field. I'm talking about especially with the few off the field. So that's something that we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on for who can control that, because it's been very physical so far.
And now Myers has it. She's going to battle with Tellez. O'Brien now has it, pushing it. She's in midfield. She's still pushing. She's going to pass it over to Scott. Scott is looking. She's on the far side of IU East territory. Larson is making chase. Larson gets there. She's putting pressure on Scott. Scott's trying to make. Scott still has the ball on the near side. She's going to pass it to Carval. Carval is now attacking. It's going to be taken by Araya, who's going to pass it over to Fiesel for Goshen. Goshen's now attacking, but they're still in their own territory in the middle. It's going to be knocked away by Scott and picked up by O'Brien for IU East, who's then going to pass it over to Miller. Miller now passes it back to O'Brien. O'Brien's really looking to attack. She passes it over to Scott. Scott's now on the far side. Pushes left on your dial toward in Goshen territory. She's going to pass it over to Carval, who's then going to make an attack with Araya, and then it's going to go out of bounds for a IU East throw-in by Carval, who's going to throw it into, looks to be Scott, who's then going to kick it aimlessly over to Shaw, who's then going to kick it over to Fiesel, who's going to pass it back to Shaw. Shaw's now pushing. She's at midfield. No one's around her. She's going to make a pass to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's in a foot race with Myers. She wins the foot race, passes it to Borum. Borum's looking to attack. Borum's going to pass it over to what looks to be Larson. Larson's going to pass it over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's now going to make a cross to Borum. It doesn't get through. Evans just misses it. Borum now has the ball at the goal, and it's a goal! It's a goal, Goshen College. Goshen has retied the game. It is now 2-2 Goshen and IU East with about 14 minutes left to play in the first half.
And very exciting right there. Great setup. They had it in the 18 they had it in the 18 for that entire possession right there. And that's big. And who was it, by the way, that ended up scoring that goal? The same. It was Borum. That's her second goal already of the half of the game. And that's big right there. Obviously one more and she will have already a hat trick so far just here in the first half.
Which is a big thing. She's keeping up the goal scoring. That's already 5 so far in the last 3 games. She's at the goal. Okay, excuse us. It is 2-0. Both of the calls are offsides, and we just missed it. Bear with a kick, a goal kick. And it's rolling, and it's going to be picked up by Evans. It's now being chased by Larson. Evans is going to kick it back to Nicholson, who now has the ball in the 18-yard. And he's going to kick it ahead over to Scott. Scott now passes it over to Scott, the other Scott in the team, who's then going to roll over to Evans, who, after she tries to pass it back to Conway, Evans now has it. She's going to pass it over to Miller. Miller's now working up the near sideline. It's into Goshen College territory. Myers had the ball and then stolen by Huey. Huey's going to try to pass it to Tell. It's going to roll away and it's going to go to Denson. Denson's going to pass it to Miller. Denson then passes it to Woodyard. Oh, tries to pass it to Woodyard. Knocked away by Fiesel. Now Larson has the ball. Larson's in a battle. Larson now has it. Passes it over to Fiesel. Fiesel gives it to Tellez. Tellez is now pushing ahead and it's going to roll into Conway's feet, who then passes it to Myers, who's then now in a battle with Huey. It's still a battle, and it's going to roll out of bounds and be a Goshen College throw-in as 3 players check in. It looks to be number 20. 20. Okay. Looks to be Rodriguez and Rodriguez checking in.
It looks like number 16, Diana
Ramirez.
Ramirez, is also in.
Yes, and number 11, Talia Miller. With the throw-in by IU East, Myers now has the ball, being pressured by Huey. Huey passes it to O'Brien. O'Brien passes it to Myers. Myers passes it over to Evans. Evans is now going to pass it over to Conway. Conway's now pushing on the far side of IU East territory. She passes it over to Scott. Scott's now pushing. She's pressured by Rodriguez. Passes it to Woodyard, who passes it to Conway. And then back to O'Brien. Over to Woodyard. Woodyard's going to try to push it ahead to Carval. It's going to be picked up by Beck, who's now in Goshen territory on the far side. It's going to roll all the way to about midway of Goshen territory. It's going to be picked up by Scott, who's going to pass it over to Carval. Carval's going to cross it, and it's going to be picked up by Katie Bear. Bear clears it. It's going to be over to Larson, who's going to lose it to Woodard. Woodard is going to, and then it's going to roll to Shaw. Shaw now has it about midfield. Push it ahead. She's going to go forward. She's going to push it ahead. It is now Woodard, who's on a fast break, going to try to press it ahead to Scott. Scott now is going to looks like Scott has it on the near side of Goshen College territory. She's pushing to the middle. Pass it over to Myers. Myers is now passing it to Scott. Scott's going to take a shot, and it's going to bounce once in the 18 and be picked up by Katie Bear. Bear's going to kick it in all the way into IU East territory. Now it's rolling. It's in the 18-yard almost. It's now a race between Evans and Larson. Evans is going to win that race. Now Larson is going to. Larson's going to kick it. It's going to bounce off Evans. It's going to be a Goshen College throw-in by Caitlin Huey.
And as we now have less than 10 minutes left in this first half, it'll be interesting to see what Goshen tries to do here. A goal right here would be really nice. That way they only have a 1-goal deficit going into the second half. But still a lot of soccer left to be played.
Right. It's going to bounce off Myers and be another Goshen College throw-in for Huey. Huey's going to throw it into, looks to be Larson. Larson's going to try to pass it to Miller. It's bouncing around now, and it's going to be another Goshen College throw-in for Huey. Huey's really trying to push it forward so they can get into the 18. Huey's going to throw it in. It's going to go to Myers. Myers is going to kick it all the way over to Zimmerman, who's then going to kick it all the way back. It's going to be picked up by Miller for IU East. Now there's a scramble for it. Ramirez now has it. She's going to pass it to Huey. Huey now gets it to Larson. Larson's going to try to cross it. It's going to bounce off of Miller. Myers for IU East picks it up. Now Larson kicks it again. It's going to be kicked away by Evans. Rodriguez heads it, and it goes over to Conway. And Conway's just going to clear it out for another throw-in for Goshen College.
Goshen right now, at the very least, they're keeping it on their side of the field so that they will be able, so that they can at least be able, this is the chance that they could have right here to try to cut this deficit from 2-0, hopefully down to 2-1.
Rodriguez had it. It's taken by O'Brien. O'Brien's now pushing into midfield. She's going to pass it over to Nikki Menthonol, who is checked into the game. Menthol's going to lose to Huey, but it's going to roll to Myers for IU East. O'Brien now has it. O'Brien's now pushing. She's in Goshen territory in the middle. She's going to pass it all the way over to Scott. It's rolling away, and Scott's going to save it. Scott's now looking. She's going to pass it over to Myers. Myers is now set up. No one is around her. She's going to take a shot. Oh, she's going to try to cross it. It's not going to work, and it's going to be cleared out by Shaw. It's now going to be picked up by Carval, who's going to pass it back to Scott for IU East. Scott's now pushing on the far side. She's going to pass it into O'Brien in the middle. O'Brien's looking to score. She's going to take a shot, and she's going to miss. And Bear's going to pick it up just right of the right goal post in the 18-yard box. She's now bouncing around, letting people set up a little bit. She's going to kick it. It's going to go to about midfield. Fiesel is going to bounce right over Fiesel's head to Evans of IU East. Now Zimmerman has it. Zimmerman's now pushing. Zimmerman's now pushing into mid. And there's a bit of a both players fall. Zimmerman looks to make sure Myers is okay. And then Woodard picks it up. And then she's going to pass it to Myers, who picks it up to O'Brien, who then passes it to Scott. Rodriguez is on the race for the ball from Scott. Just misses. Carval has it. She's going to pass it back to Scott. Scott's now pushing into the far side of Goshen territory. She's going to pass it to Carval. Carval's going to pass it back to Scott. Scott's then going to pass it ahead. Area's going to knock it away, but it's going to be picked up by Mentenal, who then passes it to Carval, who's now looking to pass. She's in a battle with Beck. She's going to win. Pass it ahead to Scott. Area's going to try to get it, but Scott's going to win that battle. There's another battle. Area now has it. Area and Scott are battling, and it's going to be a foul on IU East, and it looks to be Scott with the foul. And then it's going to be a free kick for Katie Bear. Katie Bear is going to kick it off. She's going to give it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez is now pushing, and it's going to be kicked out of bounds by Conway with Mara Beck for the throw-in.
And with just a little less than 6 minutes left, it'll be interesting to see what Goshen tries to do here, as again being down 2-0. They need some type of momentum going into this next half, but let's see if they can get something going here in the first half.
Huey has the ball in the middle, just outside the 18-yard box, and it's going to bounce around. It's going to be taken by, looks to be Myers of IU East. She's going to kick it all the way over to Carval. She's now pushing it. She's got some pressure from Ramirez, pushes it back to the middle, passes it over to O'Brien. O'Brien's now pushing. O'Brien now passes it over to Mendenhall, but it's going to be cleared by Palacios. Back to O'Brien, though. Now Carval has it. She's trying to pass it to Mendenhall. It's going to be passed over to Area. Area's going to give it to Miller. Miller's now battling with Woodard. Woodard now picks it up. It's in the middle. She's going to pass it over to O'Brien. O'Brien's now battling with Miller. O'Brien passes it to Woodard. It's going to be picked up by Shaw. Shaw's now looking to push it. She's now on the near side of by the press box. She's going to pass it over to Huey. Huey's going to save it from going out of bounds. It's going to roll to Larson. They're on the near side, just outside the 18-yard. She's going to make a cross. It's going to roll just past Rodriguez. It's going to be cleared by Scott all the way over to O'Brien. O'Brien with Shaw on a pressure on O'Brien from Shaw. O'Brien's going to pass it to Myers. Myers is going to pass it over to Scott with pressure from Zimmerman. Zimmerman's now going to steal it, but it's going to roll to Myers. Myers now has it. She's going to kick it way ahead, trying to give it to Scott, and it's just going to roll out of bounds for a Goshen College goal kick for Katie Bear.
And just hitting less than 4 minutes. 4 minutes now. It'll be interesting how both teams and what they want to do here. Is Bear is looking to try to do something here. There goes her kick.
She kicks it. It's going to roll to Beck, but Beck's going to lose it. It's going to be picked up by Carval. Now it's going to roll to Beck. Beck's going to pick it. It's going to roll to Area. Area's going to kick it ahead. Rodriguez just had it, and it's going to roll to Conway. Now given to Scott. Scott's looking to attack. Scott passes it ahead. It's been picked up by Mittenhall, who's going to pass it over to O'Brien. O'Brien's now pushing middle of Goshen territory, just outside the 18-yard. Palacios is going to steal it away. She's now pushing. She's now at midfield. No one's really around her. No one's pressuring her. Woodard is on chase, but Woodard's not going to get there. Palacios is now splitting. She still has the ball. She's only a little far away from the 18-yard. Meyer and her getting a bit of a tussle. Miller now gets it. Miller and Myers are in a tussle now. Palacios is going to pick it back up. Palacios is going to take a shot on goal, and it's going to be picked up by Nicholson.
A right idea though by Palacios. Good idea, at least pushing the ball up. And like you said, there was really no one around her, so it's a great idea though. Maybe see if there were anyone open. Again, good pressure though by IU East, but great job at least pushing the ball up and getting it into the IU East territory.
Zimmerman now has the ball on the near side of Goshen College territory. She's going to pass it ahead to Shaw. Shaw's now pushing it. Shaw's going to pass it ahead to Miller. Miller's now pushing middle. She's going to pass it back to Shaw. at midfield, right inside the big midfield circle. She's going to pass it over to Beck, who's then going to pass it over, and it's going to be knocked away by Evans. Woodard has it for IU East. Woodard is now passing it over to Scott. Scott's now looking to attack. She's going to pass it all the way over. It's going to be taken by Shaw from Goshen. Scott's going to take it back for IU East. She's going to pass it over to Miller. Miller's now looking to attack. Miller's going to pass it over to Myers. Myers is going to dribble back and give it back to Miller. Miller's then going to pass it all the way forward to Scott. Scott's now in a battle with Zimmerman. The IU East faithful are looking for a holding call from Zimmerman. And Scott's going to give it over to Myers. Palacios is going to take it as the pass is all the way over to Mittenhall. She's going to pass it ahead. O'Brien's going to take it back from the Palacios pass. Who's going to pass it to Myers? Who's going to pass it to Woodard? Who's going to pass it all the way forward to Scott. Scott's looking to attack. She's going to pass it over to O'Brien. O'Brien's going to pass it to Myers. Myers is looking to attack. Huey on with the pressure. Myers is going to pass it to Scott. Scott's going to pass it to O'Brien. O'Brien's looking to attack. She's pushing it middle. Now she's pushing it to the far side. She's going to take a shot on goal, and it's going to just roll to Bear, and Bear's going to pick it up.
And with that right there, we now enter 1 minute left in the first half.
It's going to be kicked off by Bear, who's then just going to be picked up by Ramirez. Ramirez is now passing it all the way forward. Try to pass to Larson. It's going to roll away. Miller touches it, and it's going to be knocked away off of Larson. Miller with a throw-in. With just 35 seconds left in the first half, it is 2-0 IU East. Myers is pushing it. Myers is going to pass it over to Woodard. Woodard is going to pass it way into Goshen territory. It's going to be picked up by Palacios. Palacios is going to kick it all the way back into IU East territories. Rodriguez now has the ball for Goshen. She's now pushing ahead. She's racing. She's going to, looks like, and it's going to be kicked away by Scott. It's going to be picked up by Carvalho for IU East. She's now pushing ahead. 9. And it's going to be, and there's going to be a shot, and it's going to be knocked away. 3 seconds left, and that's the end of the first half. As Bear with a diving save, where she dived like 3 times to get the ball, and the first half has ended. It is the end of the first half. It is 2-0 Indiana University East, and we're going to take a quick break here on 91.1 The Globe. You're home for Goshen College Athletics, and be back with the halftime report. Welcome back to Goshen College Athletics here. We're at John Englewood Athletic Complex and on 91.1 The Globe, you're home for Goshen College Athletics, as the women are taking on Indiana University East Red Wolves. It is halftime here, and it is passing a lot of short passes, and really slow down the game, really burn a lot of time, and just sort of try to run the clock out and get out of here with a win. If you're Goshen, you gotta get on the attack. You have to start really attacking the goal. I mean, they've had a lot of opportunities, and they've just haven't capitalized yet. And there's been a lot of times where the ball has bounced off the crossbar and not gone in, or just missed slightly left or slightly right, and it just hasn't gone in. But if you're Goshen, you got to try to get the ball in the net as much as possible. And obviously Amanda Nicholson for Indiana University East has played a terrific game in goal. She's done a lot of good. She's stopped the ball a lot, and I mean, obviously she's been lucky a couple of times on the two times where the ball went in, but it was a offsides penalty. But I think if you're Goshen, you got to figure out a way to crack that IU East defense. So.
And while we give over some different stuff, I'm going to go and give the overall stats as we have that IU East again up 2-0 on Goshen by the end of the half, and the 2 goals by the Red Wolves were scored by number 8 in O'Brien and number 19 in Scott. And a big thing that you need to know there, again, both are freshmen, and both that I've seen them play so far is that they've been very aggressive with it, especially O'Brien. And that's the player that I think Goshen's going to have to keep an eye on, because when she goes with the ball and dribbles or shoots, she's going with a purpose and being really aggressive with it. And that's something that they need to make sure that they are aware of when she comes, or when she's about to try to make a play, again, when she has the ball.
Well, in the last game they played where they won 3-0 against I don't remember who they played exactly, but they in the last game she had 2 goals in that game, both in the second half, very quickly into the second half, and about the midway point of the second half she had 2 quick goals, and they tacked on a third in about the 89th minute to win I think to sort of put the game out of reach. But the point is she's already proven that she can score goals as a freshman at the NAI level, and I think if you look at the way it's going, she's going to continue to attack, and I think she's going to continue to score, and I wouldn't be surprised if she puts another one in the back of the net this game. Obviously, we don't want her to do that here at Goshen, but we're looking to. I wouldn't be surprised if they're looking for her to score as they get going. But if you're Goshen, you have to. I think you have to lean on. You have to lean on your forwards, Ebersol and Borum. Borum has scored 3 goals in the previous 2 games, and we thought she scored 2 goals in this game, but she was offsides both times. But even I think if you're Borum, you take those times where I put the ball in the net. They called offsides. It didn't go my way, but I've put the ball in the net. I know how to put the ball in the net. You take even though it's not on the scoreboard, you put in your mind, hey, I've put the ball in the net this game. I'm going to keep trying to put the ball in the net. And if you're Ebersol, you just keep attacking. And if you're really everyone on this soccer team, just keep attacking, keep pushing. Really put the pressure on IU East in the second half and get going.
And as you said, Borum is kind of one of their big go-to players, one of their best goal scorers this season, and that is someone that I hope that they go to more often, because as you've said, the 2 goals that she scored that we thought that she did, still that now she has an idea of what works and what doesn't. And while we go off of that, another big stat that I see here is the idea that when you look at shots on goal compared to Goshen's 5 shots, only 3 were on goal, whereas the IU East Red Wolves have already taken double-digit in 11 shots, and 8 of them have been on goal, of course, with Bear saving 6 of them and the other 2 in the back of the net. So that's another thing. IU East is finding the right gaps in the Goshen College defense, and then they're having a rip at it. So it will be interesting. I think that's the other thing with the whole half that Goshen's played. They've recognized where the gaps are, and that's something that they'll need to remember and recognize in the second half, so they can go to that and attack that and try to get at least 1 goal early on in the second half so that they can get closer and closer to trying to make this comeback.
I think one more thing is if you're Goshen, you're thinking about what is going on. Like you're making this a whole new game. I think you have to go in the second half thinking it's 0-0 and that no matter what, you just go and play as hard as you can and you try to put the ball in the net as much as possible and just see what happens. I think if you're Goshen, you just have to leave it all there and hope for the best.
I agree with that, definitely. So it'll be an interesting second half. We're looking to obviously give some more key stuff, some more key stats and everything. And again, it'll be interesting to see what both teams try to do and what their coaches' plans are.
All right, we're going to take a break here and come back with some more halftime report. This is 91.1 The Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics, and we are at John Ingold Athletic Complex with women's soccer. Welcome back to John Ingold Athletics Complex and now 91.1 The Globe. This is your home for Maple Leafs Athletics. This is women's soccer here at John Ingold Athletic Complex. The women are playing Indiana University East. It is at halftime at the moment. It is 2-0 Indiana University East on this 69 degrees sunny Saturday afternoon in Goshen, Indiana, United States of America. It's a fairly full student section and sort of sprinkled throughout the rest of the stands as we are as the players are sort of staying loose and talking and hydrating and eating food or whatnot to, stay loose, stay ready for the second half, avoid injuries. Injuries are always important to avoid.
And one thing to also remember is don't forget, though, that after this game, we also got the second game for the doubleheader today. It will be the men's soccer team. They will be taking on Calumet College of St. Joseph's. Should be a really great game right there, a lot of good action. That game will start at approximately 7 o'clock, depending on when it'll go on air. It will be Zach himself, but this time it will not be it will be William. He will be taking my spot, but I'm going to excuse me. I'm going to make it count right now with Zach right here and enjoy and really hope that the women's soccer team of Goshen makes a comeback right here. But a point that you made before we went to break is just the idea that at the very least, play your hardest, give everything you have. It looks like they're having a lot of energy coming out of the half as we see them in there. So that's something that's really good to see. And as though we'll most likely switch sides of the field. So it will look a little different if you're watching on the live stream or if you're listening to this. But Yeah, it's a really nice, like you said, really nice day for soccer. Gorgeous weather. Very fortunate to have it. No chance of rain. And looking forward to the second half of Goshen College soccer.
Again, talking about switching field. So in the first half, Goshen College is going from left to right on your radio dial, while Indiana University East is going left to right on your radio. Going, yes, left to right for Goshen, right to left for Indiana East. It is now going to be flipped, and it will be Goshen going right to left, and Indiana East going from left to right. As we have about 12 seconds to game time. In fact, they actually just took off the halftime counter, and both teams are coming on the field, setting up for the second half. And I think Goshen College is trying to hype themselves up a little bit to try to quote and say win the second half of this game. As Bears coming back out into goal, and looks to be the same players that started the game on the field.
And it looks, it looks like you're correct right there.
Yeah, the starters are coming back onto the field. But it looks to be...
The clock looks set. The players... Clock is set, and the players look to be ready to go. And we are underway in the second half here of women's soccer between the IU East Red Wolves.
It is now the second half. It is Zimmerman now has the ball. Is going to kick it ahead. It's going to go to, it looks like Prim. And Myers and Prim are in a battle, and it's going to be a foul on Laura as she sort of just knocked down Myers, and it's going to be a free kick for Conway. Conway fakes the free kick, then kicks it deep. It's going to be headed by Palacios. Fiesel's going to pick it up. Going to be a tussle with O'Brien. Look back. Now Ebersol has it. Ebersol's now pushing on the near side, and it's going to be knocked out of bounds by Ebersol. Miller is going to pick it up on the far side. She's going to pass it into O'Brien. O'Brien is now in a battle with Laura. O'Brien is now attacking. She's pushing ahead. She's going to pass it over to, looks to be Maya. And now Maya's going to lose it. It's going to be cleared up by Arella, who's then going to pass it to Luna. Luna's going to give it to Maya. Maya now is attacking. She, with pressure from Charles, is going to roll back to Luna. Luna's now all the way at midfield. She's going to pass it back to Conway. Conway's looking to attack. Conway's going to cross it all the way over to Myers, who's then going to pass it back to Prim, who's going to pass it over to the far side to Miller. Miller's now attacking. Miller's going to pass it up to Myers, it's going to be knocked out of bounds by what seems to be Huey. It's going to be thrown in by Miller to Prim. Prim is now going to pass it back to Miller, and it's going to roll out of bounds as Miller was not looking for that pass, and it's going to be a Goshen College throw in. Huey is throwing the ball in. Huey throws it into Laura. Laura's now attacking. Laura now kicks it way ahead to Borum. Now Borum, and it's a foot race between Conway and Borum, which Conway wins, and she's just going to clear it out about 5 yards away from the corner. And it's going to be a Goshen College throw-in for Huey.
And a great idea right there, though, by Goshen. And actually, that's a really good play because at that point for IU's their only opportunity was to either just tap it or to kick it out of bounds. So great recognition there by Goshen as they're getting closer and closer to trying to score their first goal and trying to start a comeback right here.
Huey's going to throw it in. It's going to bounce off Myers' head, and it's going to be another Goshen College throw-in. Huey again once throwing it in. She's going to throw it into Borum. Borum now has it. Borum's going to kick it over to Ebersol. Ebersol now has it in the corner, and it looks to be an offsides call on Ebersol. That's about the third one today. Again, all very deep into IU East territory, and all very much missing opportunities by Goshen, as it's going to be kicked off by Miller, kicked to Prim, given back to Miller. Miller's going to cross it over to Conway in the middle. Conway's going to give it to Luna. Luna's now attacking. Charles is right there. Charles puts pressure, but Luna gets by her. She's going to pass to Prim. Now Laura's going to take it. Laura's going to give it to Fiesel. Fiesel's going to pass it all the way over to Huey. Huey's now attacking in IU East territory. Fiesel's now going to pass it. Tried to pass it to Ebersol. Ebersol wasn't looking for it. It's going to be cleared out by Conway and then passed over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's now going to give it. It's going to be kicked out by Miller. Now Scott has it. Scott's going to give it to Prim. Prim's going to try to pass it to O'Brien. O'Brien's in a foot race with and then it's going to be kicked away. And Charles is now going to, it's going to roll out of, oh, Charles is going to hit it. And it's going to be a, oh no, it's offsides. No.
And it looked like what happened there is that as the two were battling for it, when they're trying to set up right there for IU East, it was rolling out, and Charles tried to save it, but it went out anyways. But since it went off the foot of IU East, then at that point it was a goal kick for the Maple Leafs.
Yes. Okay. So then Fiesel's had it, and it looks like it was kicked away, and it's going to be a...
It appears it'll be a corner kick.
It appears to be a corner kick.
Which will be, if I remember correctly, it will be the third or fourth for the Maple Leafs.
I believe it to be the fourth.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. It looks like Palacios is going to kick the corner kick. Or, yeah. It's going to be kicked up in the air, pretty high. It just goes over Charles' head. Now Laura's racing forward on the far side, and she tried to save it with the diving slide kick, and it's just going to roll just barely out of bounds. And Nicholson's going to kick the goal kick for IU East. Nicholson kicks it off, and it's going to go to Laura. Oh, yeah, Laura it looks like. And then Laura kicks it to Ebersol. Ebersol kicks it to Huey. Huey tries to pass it back to Ebersol, but now Miller has it. Miller passes it to Evans. Evans passes it to Prim. And then it's going to be taken by Fiesel just outside the 18-yard box. She's going to take a shot on goal, and it's going to bounce off the crossbar, and it's going to be cleared out by Evans. And Caraval now has the ball pushing ahead the other way. She crosses it over to Maya. And she's going to cross it, and it's going to be cleared, and it's going to roll in, and it looked like it bounced off Zimmerman after a pass from Mejia, and it's going to go in. It's now 3-0 Indiana East University.
And very unfortunate right there. It went from Fiesel, who, by the way, had a great shot, just, of course, had to hit right on the bar, and unfortunately transformed from that into an IU East goal. And now, with Goshen being down 3-0, they're going to really need something and going to have to really build up that idea that they now need to play with a lot more urgency, and it's going to have to start soon.
Woodard has checked in for Prim for Indiana East University as Palacios kicks it way into the IU East territory and then far side away from the press box, but it's going to be picked up by Myers for IU East. She's going to go past Laura. She's now into Goshen territory on the far side. She's pushing ahead. She's going to pass it all the way over for Mejia. Mejia is going to, looks like, body check Palacios. Palacios is down on the ground. She still hasn't gotten up yet. She's setting up now. And now she's getting up. I think the wind was just knocked out of her. She looks to be okay, as everyone in the stand seems to have some faces of relief as they see Palacios get back up.
IU East goal number 19, Lauren Scott. Assist number 3, Cindy Mejia.
And again,
as Bear kicks the free kick and is going to roll. Borum now heads it over to, looks to be Huey. Huey then loses it. Evans is going to kick it over to Myers for IU East. Myers is now pushing just into Goshen territory on the far side. Now Scott has it. Scott's looking to pass it to Mejia, and it bounces around. A couple Goshen players run into each other, but they get up. Now Zimmerman, Palacios is on the pressure. Zimmerman's now there. She gets in the way. It's going to be taken by Palacios, who's going to just clear it back out of the 18-yard box. It's rolling away. Ebersol now has it on the far side of Goshen territory, and it's just going to go roll out of bounds. And Miller's going to throw it into Myers. Ebersol with the pressure on Myers. Myers is going to pass it back to Miller. Miller's going to fake the pass to Woodard and pass it over to Myers. Myers is looking to attack. Myers is going to cross it all the way over to O'Brien. Laura and O'Brien with the battle. Now Palacios is there. Palacios is attacking O'Brien, and O'Brien with the shot and on such target that Bear didn't have to move a single inch, and she just corrals it, and she's going to kick it away. And it's going to go to Borum. Borum's going to pass it over to Fiesel. Fiesel is now on the attack. Passes it back to Borum, and Evans is just going to clear it away, and it's going to be a. I think they're calling it a corner kick for.
That one was really close.
That
and
one
it
was really
looks
close.
Like it will actually be a throw-in.
It will be a throw-in. It's just barely a throw-in as it rolled, I think, just left of the flagpole there in the left corner with the red flag on it. And it's going to be cleared out by Conway for another throw-in for Goshen. Charles throws it in. She throws it right to Luna. Luna's going to clear it out. Arela and Mejia are in a battle for it. Now Laura has it. Laura's going to pass it over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's now looking. She's looking for the pass. She's now into Indiana East University territory. No one is around her. She's going to make a pass into the 18-yard box. Borum is right there. It's going to bounce around. Now Huey has it. Oh, it bounced. What a save by Nicholson. A clear out by Miller. Nicholson has had two good saves here in the second half. Now it's a fast break. O'Brien is now pushing it into territory. No one is around her. She's going to pass it ahead. Now it's Mejia with the shot on goal. She's going to, and it's going to be a body shot off of Palacios, and it's going to be a corner kick for in IU East as Carvajal is going. Carview Hall is going to kick it for IU East.
And a dangerous spot right there. IU East had both O'Brien and Scott, who, by the way, have combined scored all 3 goals. Scott with 2 and O'Brien with 1.
Now Tellez now has it pushing. She's at midfield. She has 3 IU East players around her, but no one from Goshen has come up yet. Now Charles is up. Charles has the ball about midfield. She's going to cross it all the way to Ebersol, and it's going to bounce around. Now Myers for IU East picks it up, and she's just going to kick it back to Nicholson. Nicholson now has it. Nicholson's going to kick it ahead to Conway. Conway's and Ebersol have a collision. They both get up. They both look okay. Borum with a nice nifty move and a shot on goal. It's in. It's a goal. Talia Borum. She puts it in the net. What a shot. What a shot. She puts a move on Luna right outside the 18-yard box. Then as she's fading away from the goal, takes a shot from the inside corner of the 18-yard box and puts it in.
You're going to have to give me a minute, Zach. I don't know what just happened right there. I was expecting that to be a save. That literally just went right over the goalie, and that's a big one right there because now it only cuts the deficit from 3-0 down to 3-1. Big goal right there from the sophomore. This could be the start of something real special right here for Goshen.
Now it's 33 minutes are left in the second half. It is 3-1 Indiana East University. Charles tries to pass it ahead. It's going to bounce off O'Brien and go to Laura. Laura's going to kick it ahead to Huey. Huey now is passing it to Larson, and there seems to be a call against Huey. And it's going to be a free kick for IU East, and it looks like Miller's going to kick it, who's going to pass it to Evans. Gives it back to Miller. Miller's now pushing on the far side of Goshen into Goshen territory. She's going to pass it, and then it's going to go right to Laura for Goshen. And then it's going to roll. Laura's going to pass it. It's going to roll just by Larson. It's picked up by Conway. Conway's going to pass to O'Brien, who gives it to Diensu, who gives it to O'Brien. O'Brien's going to try to pass it to Mejia, who's then going to lose it, and it's going to go to Huey. Huey's now racing in midfield. Huey tries to pass it to Fiesel, but it's going to be lost and go to Woodard. Huey now takes it back, passes it to Fiesel. Fiesel now has it in midfield, who's going to pass it all the way back to Arela. Arela's going to cross it over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's now looking to attack. Zimmerman's looking. Zimmerman's going to pass it over to Larson. Larson's going to pass it to Huey. Huey now passes it ahead. Borum looked for it. Now there's a foot race. Luna is going to clear it, and it's going to roll out of bounds, and it's going to be, and it looks to be a Goshen College throw-in as both Kylie Denson, and Shaw check in as London Fiesel checks out of the game.
Looked like that pass was intended for Borum at first, but Charles almost ended up getting a chance to shoot right there. But throw in for Goshen, and again, a great opportunity here to cut that deficit down.
Charles passes it into Tellez. Tellez tries to pass it back to Charles, and it rolled to Carvajal, who then is now, and it rolled out of bounds off of Charles, and Carvajal is going to throw it in. She throws it in Dienstenu, who then passes it over to Luna. Luna loses it, and it's going to roll out, and it looks to be off of Borum, and a goal kick for Indiana East University, and it's now Nicholson's going to kick it.
Great pressure right there, that at least by Goshen right there, trying to keep it on their own side of the field. Not the call out that maybe they wanted, but nonetheless a great idea, and they should continue to do that in the second half.
Now IU East, Nicholson with the kick is going to go right to Tellez. Borum now has it on the near side in IU East territory. She's going to pass it over to Tellez. Tellez tries to get a handle of it, and she misses it. Woodard clears it all the way back out to midfield. Mejia had it, and now Arela has it, and it's going to be a throw-in for IU East in IU East territory on the near side. Carvajal throws it into Mejia. Mejia passes it back to Carvajal. Carvajal's going to be in a battle with Shaw. Now Borum's in that battle. Oh, and it looks like Borum has knocked over Carvajal, and it's going to be a free kick for Luna.
And getting very aggressive right now by both sides, and I think that's something that Goshen was also taught to be told in the second half to be very aggressive right now, because again IU East was very physical in that first half as well, along with Goshen. So it'll be interesting to see if they can continue that up for the entire game.
Now, Laura had the ball, and it's taken by, it looks to be Denson. Denson's now racing in the middle of Goshen territory, just outside the 18-yard box. Now Mihud has it in the 18-yard box. She's in a battle with Arela. It's going to take a shot on goal, and it's going to curve just left and be a goal kick for Goshen as Talia Miller checks in for Catherine Laura. It's just under 30 minutes left to go in this second half as it's 3-1 Indiana East University. It's going to be kicked off by Bear after the goal kick. It's going to bounce off Borum, go to Carvajal, and then Luna's now has it. She's going to pass it over to Carvajal. Carvajal's going to lose it. Borum now has it, and it's going to roll just out of bounds and be an IU East throw-in. It is Luna with the throw-in. Luna throws it in to O'Brien. O'Brien's now in a battle with Shaw. It bounces off O'Brien and goes to Charles. Charles was looking for a call because she thinks O'Brien pushed her over. And it's going to bounce off of Shaw for an IU East throw-in. Luna is now looking to throw it in. She gives it to Mejia. Mejia gives it to Luna. Luna kicks it high up in the air. Palacios heads it away. Now it's a battle, and Arela kicks it away, but it goes right to Myers. Myers now has it just outside the 18-yard box. She passes it back to Woodard. Woodard gives it over to O'Brien. O'Brien passes it over to Mejia. Mejia has an open shot on goal, and it's knocked away by Charles over to Shaw. Shaw gives it back to Charles. Charles tries to kick it away. It's going to be a Goshen College throw-in as it bounces off Mejia, and Carvajal tried to save it, and she was just out of bounds. Charles is waiting for the substitution as Caitlin Huey comes off the field and Mara Beck checks in. It is a throw-in to Tellez. Tellez is in a battle with Carvajal, and it's going to go off Carvajal for another Goshen College throw-in as Charles throws it in once again to Borum. Borum gives it over to Tellez. Tellez just loses it. Now there's a battle. It's going to be picked up by Larson. Larson passes it to middle to Miller. Miller's now looking to attack. Miller's going to pass it back to Zimmerman about midfield. Zimmerman's now into IU East territory. She's going to try to pass it to Larson. It's going to bounce off Denson, go right to Miller. Miller's going to pass it ahead over to Larson. Larson's going to give it to Beck. Beck is now pushing. No one's really giving pressure. It's in the 18-yard box. The goalie's coming out, and Nicholson is going to make the save about 10 yards away from the goal. In the 18-yard box, she's now waiting for things to set up a little bit. She's going to kick it off, and it's going to go, and it's rolling. It's a race between Diensu and Beck. Diensu's going to win, give it to Myers. Myers is now pushing in about midfield. Miller's going to give some pressure. She's going to pass it over to Woodard. Woodard's going to give it to, going to lose it. Tellez is going to take it. She's going to pass it over to Arela. Arela's going to pass it over to Larson. Larson's going to kick it way in, and now it's a foot race between Evans and Borum. Evans is going to win it and just kick it out of bounds, and it'll be a Goshen College throw-in. Mara Beck with the throw-in.
Now with the ball being around the 18-yard line, that's a big play for Goshen. Again, they got to score a goal here pretty soon. Still a lot of time left, about 26 minutes left, but you'd rather have a goal now than have that rest of that time to try to make the comeback than try to score 2 goals with less time.
Now as Ebersol checks in, Talia Borum is going to check out of the game. Talia with the lone goal for Goshen. It is a throw-in. Beck threw it into Miller. Miller gave it back to Beck. Beck lost it. Denson has it. Denson passes to O'Brien. O'Brien passes it back to Denson. Denson's going to kick it ahead. Zimmerman's going to kick it, clear it out. And it's going to go right back to Denson. Denson given some pressure by Larson. Larson passes it over. Doesn't quite get there. Denson passes it to Myers. Larson then is giving pressure as it goes back to Denson. Now it's going to be crossed over to Luna. Here comes Charles with some pressure. It's going to pass to O'Brien. Now Shaw's racing. O'Brien's just outside the 18. She's going to give it to Mayhew in the 18. And it's going, she just misses. It's just her and the goalie. And she just missed right.
Great defense great defense right there by Goshen. Good talk by Bear, the keeper. And almost if I was the keeper, I would be ready for O'Brien again, scoring the one of the 3 goals for the Red Wolves. So I would have been prepared for that as well. But great job by the defense communicating with each other on that one.
Now Charles has it, pushing into Goshen territory. She's going to kick it ahead. Ebersol in a foot race with Conway. Conway looks like she's going to win it. Conway does win the foot race. Ebersol giving hard pressure. Now there's a battle, and it's going to be a Goshen throw-in. It's going to be a Goshen throw-in as the IU East faithful are not happy with the call. Charles is going to throw it in. Now Tellez has it on the corner, and it looks like it went out of bounds, and it's going to be a goal kick for IU East as Nicholson is going to kick it off.
For a minute there, I was almost a little confused. I thought they were going to call it on offsides, and I was going to be concerned with how do you call an offsides when you're basically right at the goal line.
Nicholson kicks it off, and there was a bit of a battle for it. The ball is rolling. Now Charles has it in Goshen territory. Now Mejia takes it from Charles. Mejia's pushing it up. She's trying to kick it ahead. She tried to get it to Carvajal, but it's just going to roll just out of bounds and be a Goshen College throw-in as Charles is going to throw it in. She's going to throw it to Arela. Arela's going to pass it over to Palacios. Palacios is going to give it to, she's going to kick it ahead. It goes right to Larson. And Denson from IU East takes it, but then Miller takes it back, gives it over to Larson. Becca's now pushing on the far side of Goshen territory. Becca's still pushing. She's given some pressure by Myers. Beck and Myers are in a battle for it, and it's going to be a corner kick as Myers knocks it out of bounds. And it's going to be a corner kick for Goshen.
This could be a big play right here for the Maple Leafs. Now they got a corner, and this is about the time when they need to do it. We're approaching about 23 minutes left in the second half. Still down 3-1, so still plenty of time for the Maple Leafs to try to make a comeback against the Red Wolves.
As Caitlin Huey and London Fiesel check back into the game for Goshen. The ball is up. Huey has it. She knocks it. Now it's rolling. It's rolling. Oh! Tellez with a shot, but it's going to be knocked away by Evans and go out of bounds and be a corner kick on the other side of the field.
That's a great play right there by the Maple Leafs, though. Great execution and way for everyone to be in their spots. Almost a goal right there, but good defense by the Red Wolves. But at the same time, the Maple Leafs get another chance with another corner.
Looks to be Palacios with the goal kick, or the corner, excuse me. And oh, what a save by Nicholson as the ball almost goes in on the corner. Then, oh, Tellez with a shot, and it goes just left of the goalpost, and it's going to be a goal kick. As Prim checks into the game for IU East, and so does Barger. Woodard comes out, and so does, looks to be number 66 Myers is going to come out of the game. Nicholson kicks it, and it's going to be headed by Larson. It's rolling around. Shaw now has it. Shaw is going to kick it back to Arella. Arella's going to kick it all the way back in, and now it's a battle between Larson and Luna. Larson now wins the battle. She kicks it. It's going to roll just away, and it's going to be a corner for Goshen. Fiesel's going to kick the corner. Fiesel with the corner. It comes in sort of high. It's high in the air. It's headed away by Luna. And it, oh, on top of the goal. Fiesel with a rainbow shot. And it looked like it might have gone in, but it just goes on top. And now Miller checks back into the game for Goshen. Or, excuse me, Miller checks back into the game for IU East as Denson comes out.
And so far, for the Maple Leafs, the corners have been their friend, and that's exactly, those are the types of, they want to get in the corner as much as possible because so far, even though they've not scored a goal from that yet, it's been very successful, and they want to try to probably get back there as much as possible as the ball is won back by Goshen.
Morrow kicks it in. Ebersol is in the 18. Now, oh, it's going to be kicked away by Evans, and it's going to go right to Beck. Beck now has it. She's going to kick it back to Shaw, who kicks it back to Beck. O'Brien's giving pressure. She kicks it. She tries to pass it back to Shaw. It's going to be taken by Mejia, who gives it to Bryant. Now Beck is giving pressure. Now it's going to be given pressure by Tellez, who's going to now. Palacios is pushing in to Goshen to IU East territory on the about midway point. She's going to pass it over to Fiesel. Ebersol now has it. It's going to be knocked away by Conway, and it's going to be a corner kick. And Fiesel's going to kick it once again.
And what a great just offensive set right there, especially from number 4 in Palacios, doing some of the work right there, some great work right there, and another corner yet again for the Maple Leafs. And at some point, you got to think that with all these corners, hopefully it'll produce in a goal.
That's about 3 or 4 corners in the past 5 minutes or so, which is good. And now it comes in sort of low. It's going to bounce off. Prim is going to kick it out, and now there's a foot race between Arella and Mejia. Arella's going to win it, give it to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's going to kick it ahead to, looks to be Huey. Larson now has an 18-yard box. There's about to turn the goalie, and Nicholson's going to win. Is going to get the win between Nicholson and Larson.
Zach, so many close plays, plays right now.
There's been a lot of close plays in the last couple of minutes, as it's going to be kicked away by Arella into Goshen territory. Ebersol now has the ball. She's pushing ahead. She makes a nice little nifty, and she tries to pass to Larson, and Larson just behind Larson. And now looks to be Barger on the push. It's now finally in Goshen territory after being in IU East territory for the past 5 minutes or so. And it's going to be a battle now. It's being taken away by Zimmerman. Zimmerman's has pressure on by Barger. Palacios is going to kick it about to midfield. It's going to be picked up by Tellez. Tellez is going to pass it over to Huey. Huey's now on the pressure. Huey's pushing it forward. She's looking. She's going to pass it ahead to Ebersol. Ebersol's going to give it back to Huey. Huey's going to give it all the way ahead. And now it's Larson and the goalkeeper and the Nicholson with another diving save. She's had a lot of activity in the last 5 minutes or so. A lot of very close plays, but Nicholson the junior, Amanda Nicholson, just keeps doing some great goalkeeping.
Zach, I'm telling you, there are just so many close plays right now. You've got to think that at some point, one of them has to result in a goal. So the great job by Goshen, though, putting lots of pressure on IU East. And for the most part of this second half, it's been in Goshen territory right here. So great job by the Maple Leafs of keeping the offensive pressure up.
Borum is now checked back in the game. She has the ball on the near side, pushing middle, and it's going to be a goal kick as it goes. Borum looks like Luna knocked it into Borum's leg. It's going to roll out of bounds, and Nicholson with the goal kick. Nicholson's looking. She's waiting for people to set up. She's setting herself up for the kick. Nicholson's going to kick it away. It's not going to go very it's going to stay. Prim has it in IU East territory. She's going to kick it ahead to Mejia. Arella's giving pressure. Now O'Brien has it. Arella's right there. She's giving some pressure. O'Brien slips and falls. Arella picks it up. Now she has it. It's going ahead. Huey now has the ball. She's now pushing ahead. She's now in IU East territory on the far side away from the press box, going right to left on your dial. Now Huey makes a nifty move on Prim, pushes it back middle, crosses it to Borum, and it's just going to roll away as Borum just misses it. It's going to roll out of bounds for a goal kick for IU East once again.
And I was wondering right there, great play right there by Huey, but it almost appeared like maybe she was trying to either set Borum up or if she was trying to go for the goal. But either way, great chance right there from the Maple Leafs. And I'm telling you, this has been their half. This has been their half. Even though they are not winning the game so far, they are still winning this half, scoring the goal, but second, just the pressure and the tempo that they want to be playing at right now.
As Nicholson kicks it away, Huey heads it, and then it goes right back to Nicholson. Now Nicholson kicks it again. It's a battle between Mejia and Larson. Mejia wins. Mejia is now pressured by both Shaw and Charles, and now it's going to be kicked away. And now Luna has it. She's pressured by Borum, and it's going to be a trip by Borum. Borum's not happy with the call, but is called nonetheless.
Now that's something also that Borum does need to be really careful. She's playing aggressive, which is okay, but you got to be careful with that. If they make the call, there's nothing that you can do about that. So you just have to accept it, and you cannot let that get to you because it could result in a yellow card, potentially a red card, and Goshen does not want that to happen. She has the Maple Leafs' lone goal and is one of their top goal producers of the season so far.
The ball is now kicked away by Luna, who kicks it kicks it ahead to Palacios. Palacios tries to kick it over to Borum, but it just bounces off by Conway. Conway passes to Carvajal, who then is pressured and is going to go off Charles and go be a throw-in. Luna then throws it in. Now the ball is bouncing around. Everyone seemed to look for it for a second. It bounces away. Charles hit it. Now Borum has it. Borum has it. She has a lot of pressure on her by Prim. Borum's looking to attack. She's pushing into the near side. Goshen territory is going to be taken away by Luna. Luna's now pushing back the other way. She's going to pass it to Carvajal. Carvajal's going to get pressured by Tellez. Carvajal's still being pressured by Tellez. Tellez is going to take it. Tellez is looking. Tellez is still in a battle with Carvajal. She's going to pass it to Charles. Charles is going to give it to Ebersol in about middle. Ebersol was looking to pass it to Borum. Is going to pounce off Conway and go to Evans for IU East. Now here comes Huey. Huey knocked away. Fiesel now has it for Goshen in IU East territory. She's now pushing. Now it's going to be knocked away and given to Prim. Mejia now has it at about midfield. Mejia is now pushing it ahead. No one's around her. She's going to kick it all the way to O'Brien. And it's going to be kicked away by Bear. And it's going to go right to Prim at about midfield. And now it's going to be picked up by Zimmerman. No, excuse me. O'Brien has it for IU East. It's going to be knocked away by Shaw. Now Palacios has it. Palacios is on the attack. Gives it away to Fiesel. Fiesel's being pressured by Prim. Fiesel now passes it ahead to Charles. Charles now has it. Charles is looking. She's going to pass it over to Palacios. Palacios is now on the attack. Palacios takes a shot on goal, and it goes right to Nicholson. With the shot, and Nicholson's just going to kick it away after another save.
And that's a great shot attempt, though, because if that goes a little more to the left, that probably falls in for the goal. So great attempt right there, though, for Goshen. And again, so far doing a very good job of this half of working their offense and being aggressive against the Red Wolves.
And now it's going to be a Looks to be a Red Wolf throw-in as Myers checks in, and not exactly sure who checked out. Myers is attacking. She has pressure on by Tellez. Myers is still being pressured by Tellez. She's going to kick it back to Scott. Scott's just going to kick it over to Prim. Prim's going to kick it over to O'Brien. O'Brien is now being pressured, and now it's going to roll away. Now Myers has it on the near side in Goshen territory around the corner kick area. It's going to be passed over to Mejia. Mejia's going to pass to Scott, who's going to get back to Myers. Myers is now just outside the 18-yard box. She's going to get the cross. Palacios is going to kick it away, and it's going to be a corner kick for IU East with about just under 12 minutes left to play in this game, and it's 3-1. Still is your score. IU East is up 3-1.
And with about 12 minutes left, Goshen's probably going to need to score a goal here pretty soon because time is slowly running out. But they got to keep this aggressive pressure up, and they've been doing a great job of being consistent with it so far throughout this whole second half.
Myers passes it in. It's going to be cleared out by Palacios. Now Zimmerman has pressure on Myers as Myers has not gotten the ball back. She's taking it from Myers, and then it's going to be kicked out of bounds as Zimmerman looks like she tried to pass it to Tellez, but Tellez wasn't quite there. And O'Brien now has it. It's going to be cleared up by Shaw. O'Brien gets it back. Now it's over to Scott. Scott passes it over to Mejia. It's knocked away by Arella, but then now Palacios has it. She's pushing it. She's at midfield. She's really pushing the ball now. She has pressure on her from Mejia. She makes a nifty little move, gets past Mejia, passes it over to Fiesel. Fiesel is now looking to get it ahead. It's going to bounce off Conway and go to Charles as it goes ahead. Ebers, and it's just going to roll to Nicholson as Ebersol looked to be on the move for the ball. And is now Scott has it for IU East. She's going to pass it ahead. Aurella's going to take it. It's going to be over to Fiesel. Fiesel is now looking. She's going to pass over to Zimmerman. Zimmerman is now pushing the ball up that way into IU East territory. It's over to Borum, just outside the 18-yard. She bodies it, then heads it. It goes behind her. Shaw tried to head it and missed it. Now Scott has the ball. She's at about midfield. Shaw with some pressure. Now it's really a foot race. She gives it over to Mejia. Mejia tries to pass it back to Scott, and it's just going to roll out of bounds. It's going to be a Goshen College throw-in as Arela throws it into Palacios. Palacios is now looking. Palacios is going to kick it deep. Gives it to Charles. Charles is going to head it. Now Borum and Conway are in a foot race. That Borum wins. Borum is now pushing. She's trying to beat Conway to the corner. Conway now takes it from Borum. Borum is still putting pressure, and it's going to roll. And there's a foot race between O'Brien and Shaw. And now there seems to be a call on the play. Not exactly sure what the call is, but it's going to result in a free kick
and
for Goshen.
It appears that looks like it was an offsides call.
Shaw seems to be injured, but she's coming off. Tellez is checking in. Diansu has checked in for Mejia for IU East, and Palacios is going to kick it. Palacios kicks it off. It comes in kind of low, goes right to Tellez. Tellez is now battling with Myers. Myers wins that battle, but Tellez is now still putting on pressure. Diansu is now coming down. She's in a battle with Laura. Diansu now wins that battle, gives it over to O'Brien. O'Brien is now pushing. Palacios with a diving stop with the ball as O'Brien tried to make the pass to Scott. Now it's going to be ahead to, looks to be, Tellez now has the ball. She tried to kick it over to Ebersol. It goes just over Ebersol's head. It's going to be knocked away by Miller, who passes it to Prim. Prim is now being pressured by Huey. Now Myers has it. She's being pressured by Charles. Charles now has taken the ball from Myers. Charles is looking to attack. She pushes it middle, and then she's going to lose it. Luna's going to take it, give it to Myers. Myers now passes it ahead to Jensnu. Jensnu's now being on the attack. Now it's going to be taken away Now Laura has it. It's going to be knocked over by Tellez back to Laura. Palacios now has the ball. She's about midfield. She's pushing ahead. She's going to pass it ahead to Ebersol. Ebersol is now pushing. Oh, that's Fiesel. Not Ebersol, sorry. And Fiesel's just going to kick it out the back for another goal kick, and it's going to be kicked by Nicholson.
Looked like she was trying to set up Borum right there. Very unfortunate because it was a great play, but unfortunately they did not get the result that they wanted to, and it will be a goal kick for the Red Wolves as we approach. Looks like a little less than 8 minutes left here in the second half of the first game of the doubleheader.
Barger was in a foot race with Barger's racing down the far sideline, but then Huey came over and looks like it's going to be a corner kick as Huey knocked it away. Looks like Diensnu is going to kick the corner.
And as we just now approach the 7-minute mark, Goshen will need to definitely make sure that they give their absolute, their best effort right now, as they have been so far in the second half and throughout the game, but particularly in the second half. It's shown one on the stat sheet but just on the field so far. And again, it's been very physical, and we'll see if they can keep up that mentality as we go along throughout the rest of the second half.
Conway's going to kick it from about midfield into Goshen territory. O'Brien now has it. Palacios is now on the ground, and O'Brien kicks it away. And Palacios is on the ground and does not look good. She's lying there. She's trying to get up, and it's not happening. Now she's just sitting there. The trainer has now come on the field.
Clock has stopped at 6:22 as the trainer appears to look. A player you definitely don't want to lose. She's been playing very well so far for the Maple Leafs. It'd be very unfortunate to see her have to come out, and it might be that she does.
Palacios is still on the ground. 6:22 remaining in the second half. It is 3-1. We're going to take a quick break here on 91.1 The Globe. You're home for Maple Leaf Athletics as they tend to Palacios. We will be back with more game action when we return. And we are back here. Palacios got up and jogged off the field, so she seems to be okay. And it looks like Bear is going to, with the kick after the goal kick, and is going to bounce off a couple players and go to Arella, who's then going to pass it over to Charles. Charles is going to pass it ahead. She tried to give it to Larson, and it's going to bounce around. And now Prim has it for IU East. She's going to pass it over to Myers. Myers is going to pass to O'Brien. O'Brien is now breaking up the middle. She's really looking to score. She's going to pass it over to Scott, and it's going to roll just a little too far away for there to be really any serious danger. And now there seems to be a call on IU East as Palacios is now checked back into the game. And London Fiesel is going to come out. Bear is going to kick the free kick. It's up. It comes in. And it's going to bounce off O'Brien. O'Brien now has the ball. O'Brien is now pushing. She pressured on by Palacios. Now Larson is going to kick it ahead. Borum. Now there's a foot race, and it looks like Nicholson is just going to pick it up for IU East. She's sort of waiting for traffic to set up. She's waiting. She kicks it off, and it's going to bounce over. It's going to go right to O'Brien. O'Brien's is pushing ahead. She's going to pass it over to Scott. Scott's going to thread the needle to Diensnu, and there's an offsides on Diensnu. Bear's going to kick off the free kick. It's going to bounce around. Now there's a foot race for it. Evans is going to win the foot race. And she's just going to clear it out of bounds for a Goshen College throw-in. Huey's going to throw it in. It's going to, Barger now has it. Now Laura has it. It's going to be kicked in. It's going to be cleared out by Luna, then headed by Evans. Then it's going to be kicked by Prim. And now it's gone all the way to Scott. Scott's at midfield. She's going to pass it ahead. Now it's a foot race. Diensnu and Aurelia are in a foot race, and it's going to be saved by Bear. What a diving save by Bear. More like a squatting save by Bear. Bear's going to kick it back to midfield. It's going to roll all the way deep into IU East territory. Now Borum has the ball. Borum's going to pass. It's going to bounce away from Borum, go to Tellez, and then it's going to be cleared out by Luna, and it's going to be a throw-in for Goshen College. Borum throws it into Tellez. Tellez is going to give it back to Borum, who's going to kick it over to, looks to be Larson. Larson tries to put it middle. Prim is going to take it as the pass was intended for Ebersol. Now, Prim passes it to Diensnu, and it's going to be kicked over by Zimmerman. Nicholson's just going to pick it up harmlessly away from the goal in the 18-yard box.
We now approach less than 3 minutes left in this game, and if Goshen's going to score a goal, it's going to have to be pretty soon because it's looking the chance for a comeback is starting to slowly fade away for the Maple Leafs.
Now the ball. Oh, Larson's on a fast break. The ball's just going to. Oh, she saves it. She saves it. And now Borum has it. Borum's going to kick it into the box, and it's going to be. Oh! Tellez just misses the header. Tellez just misses the header left, and is now 2:20 remaining. It is 3-1 IU East in the second half here, as Denson is now checked in for O'Brien.
And a great setup right there for Goshen. Great kick. Way to use the head just a little bit to the left right there, but great attempt right there for the Maple Leafs to try to score.
After the goal kick, Palacios heads it. It goes to Luna. Now Palacios has the ball back. And now it's going to be kicked out by Conway, but right to Tellez. Now it's going to be kicked out by Evans, but right to Laura for Goshen. And then it's going to be kicked into the 18-yard box, and it's going to be picked up by Nicholson. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in this game, and Nicholson's going to kick it off into about midfield. It's going to roll, go to Zimmerman. Zimmerman's going to kick it. It's going to be headed by Denson. Picked up by Scott. Scott's going to try to pass it back to Denson. It's going to be picked up by Tellez. Tellez is going to try to pass to Larson. Larson's going to stick a leg out, and it goes back to Tellez. Borum now has the ball. She's pushing. She's trying to get that angle. She now has it, and it's going to be a corner for Goshen.
It appears though that some of the fans were expecting that with that sliding tackle that it might have been a call, and if it is a penalty in the 18-yard, it's an automatic penalty kick, but nonetheless it'll still be a corner. We'll see what Goshen tries to do here.
Palacios with the corner. She's going to kick it up in the air. It's floating. It's going to be headed away, and it's going to be a goal kick as it bounces off a couple Goshen players' heads.
And with it being a goal kick and under a minute left, unless something miraculous were to happen, it will appear that the Maple Leafs will drop this one. You never know, but I've seen crazier things. But we'll see what they have left with these last 30-some seconds left in the game.
It rolls out of bounds, and it would be a throw-in for Goshen. Zimmerman's going to throw it in. She throws it into Palacios. Palacios is looking to, she passes it over to Huey. Huey's going to kick it up in the air, and now there's a foot race for it. Luna now has it. Oh, Carvajal has it for Goshen. Larson tried to get the ball, but she tripped her up. As her clock is winding down, and it is going to be a Indiana University East win here at John Ingold Athletic Complex on 91-1 The Globe. We're going to take a quick break here as Goshen College now falls to 2-2-1 on the season. And we will be back with the post-game show. Welcome back here to John Ingold Athletics Complex and on 91-1 the Globe, your home for Goshen College Athletics. We are here with the post-game show after the Goshen College Maple Leafs women's soccer team has unfortunately taken a loss to Indiana University East, 3-1. The women now fall to 2-2-1 on the season, and we're going to talk about the game a little bit here as Tanner is going to bring up some stats and things to sort of look back out on the game.
Let's try to finish things off right here. Again, final stat line ended up being in the Red Wolves at 3 and the Maple Leafs at 1. Red Wolves scoring 2 goals in the first half and another one in the second half. The Maple Leafs scoring their lone goal in the second half, and goals scored again. We had the leader for both the Red Wolves and the leader of the game was Lauren Scott scoring 2 goals, and number 8 in Dejana O'Brien scoring the lone goal for the Maple Leafs will be number 24, Talia Borum. Other quick stats right here. Shots, overall shots taken, IU East with 17, Goshen with 13. Shots on goal, of those shots that were on goal, IU East with 11 and Goshen with 6. There were no cards given out in the game, so there were 5 saves made by the Red Wolves compared to the 8 that the Maple Leafs had. And shots leader for both was Ebersol with 3 and O'Brien with 5. And again, as Zach said, that drops Goshen to 2-2-1 on the season. And for the Indiana University East Red Wolves, that drops them at 500 at 2-2.
Well, I would say this game was fairly. I would say the way the game looked from the field, from up here from the press box, as we watched on the field, is the Habs were flipped almost. Where in the first half, IU East looked like they were on the attack more, and they got the 3 goals in, and they were really pushing. And Goshen looked like they were on the defensive a lot in the first half, and then it flipped in the second half where there was about a 5 or 6 minute period where the ball never crossed midfield. It was just in IU East territory, and there was a lot of, the difference in this game really is not whether whether one team played better than the other for the most part. I would say the difference in the game is just IU East capitalized and Goshen didn't on their opportunities. And maybe some of that has to do with IU East having a junior goalie compared to Goshen having a freshman goalie. Even though our Katie Bear is one of the best goalies, freshman goalies. She's probably the best freshman goalie in the conference, and easily one of the best goalies in the conference, I would say.
And one big point that, as you said, was the idea that Goshen had many opportunities. As I said, of their 13 shots, more than half, 6 were on goal. But a big point of emphasis with that is that they were not able to capitalize on a lot of them. Indiana University East, they were able to, and they had some very nice goals. And as you said about Katie Bear, great job by her. Very unfortunate because one of the goals was in a spot where there was only one spot that was able to score a goal, and that's where they ended up putting it. So props to the Red Wolves for reading that. Props and a great job by Goshen, though, of at least giving a good effort. And as you said, definitely in the first half, it was all no question whether with goal shots or statistically, no matter what, it seemed that IU East easily won that first half just by their level of play. Whereas Goshen, although the score again in just the second half ended up being tied at 1-1 of goals, that they won that one because they were just a little more physical, they were more aggressive, and they kind of went with the purpose. And although they lost 3-1, it was a split evenly in terms of competitiveness and aggression. And a great job on both squads for giving us a really good game. Just unfortunately for the Maple Leafs, they didn't come out on top.
Yeah, I would say if you're Goshen, you hold your head down because you played a hard game, you fought, and you're not going to win every game. It's just, I mean, unless you're like the 1972 Miami Dolphins or something, you're just not going to win every game. And if you just kind of go out there and work hard and you leave it all on the field, and I think they did that this afternoon. And I think if you're IU East, you look at this game as another stepping stone because it's now 2 in a row for them, as Goshen had won the 2 previous games before this one. And so I think Goshen's, you look at this as, hey, we lost. There's things we can work on, but overall we didn't get outworked. There was I mean, the second goal was sort of a freak goal where Lauren Scott shot it bounced off of Zimmerman and it just rolled to the right place. Like, Bear was set up perfectly for the spot for the goal for the guard by Scott. Scott actually sort of misshot it from what she was looking for, and it bounced perfectly off of Zimmerman. And those things happen sometimes, and you can't beat yourself up over it. And I mean, the other 2 goals were good, and the goal by Borum was phenomenal. That was a phenomenal goal by Borum. Just beating Luna there in the near corner on the left side of the field if you're looking from the press box, and just sort of fading away and floating it right over Nicholson and into the goal. And you win some, you lose some, and I think if you're Goshen, you take what you did with some hope, and you work harder for next game.
Give it a quick heads up, the women's soccer team will be back in action. They got a little bit of a break there. Do not play again until Wednesday when they will be at Holy Cross College. That game will start about 5 o'clock-ish, and again, so they'll get a bit of a break there, and as you said, that'll give them a chance to settle down a bit, rest their bodies, especially after a very physical game. So just rest up, ice up, get some fluids, and just remember to be prepared for that, and get ready and try to bounce back. Again, they may drop to 500 with the 1 tie, but they are looking to try to win game number 3 on the year with that. And another reminder is that the action with us here does not stop. That in about an hour, actually, the men's soccer team will be in action as well, as they will be taking on Calumet College of St. Joseph's. Again, starts about 7 o'clock. Zach will be with you on that game, but I will not be. I will be off once we sign off here. It'll be William that will be there. I will still be at the game, though, cheering on for the Maple Leafs. I hope you will also listen as well, whether it be through 91.1 The Globe or go to GoLeafs.net and go to the live stream. I expect it to be a great game, Zach, and it should be a lot of fun. And it was definitely a blast today for us here for the women's game.
Yes, it was very fun, even though Goshen College didn't get the win. It was some good soccer. There were some good-looking goals. There were some nice, nifty moves to beat defenders. Yeah. I'm Zach Begley here, signing off with Tanner Camp as as again the Maple Leafs took the loss here against Indiana University East, 3-1. This has been us here, and this is at John Ingold Athletic Complex and on 91.1 The Globe, your home for Maple Leafs athletics.